everyone, Krista here from Books and Jams, and today I'm going to be telling you about my reading month of September. The things that I read, the things that I'm not quite finished with, and one DNF that I did not finish. I didn't read very many books in September. There are only 3 here that I completed, 1 that I DNF'd, and 2 that I'm in the middle of that I should finish sometime soon in October. So I'm going to start with the book that I DNF'd. I received this book, The Dervish Gate, by Ahmet Ümit from my brother who currently lives in Turkey, and this is written by a Turkish author. And I didn't give it very much of a chance. I read the beginning of it. It is a translated work, and I really have a hard time with the translation. So I only got maybe 20-25 pages in, maybe not even that much. I don't remember, but I wasn't connecting with the story. The writing was really difficult for me to get into and even understand a lot of the time. And so I just set it down. I may still try to pick this up. However, when I went on to Goodreads to see my brother's review of this book, he didn't like it either. So I'm not sure why he gave it to me. He didn't love it. So I'm not sure if I'm going to pick this up again. I would like to try because I don't read very many books that have been translated, and I think that it's important to read works that are written in other original languages from other countries. So I'm interested in it, but I couldn't get in to the writing at all. So I had to DNF that for this month. I only did finish 3 books this month, and in large part that's because I got onto a kick with America's Next Top Model on Amazon Prime. I know, not at all uplifting, not at all challenging to my mind whatsoever, but it was a lot of fun, and I think I watched about 5 or 6 seasons, complete seasons, in the month of September. Yikes! Not maybe the best choice of use of my time, but it was a lot of fun. I did, however, read 2 books and listen to 1 audiobook, and I'm in the middle of 2 others. So the first book that I completed in September was because I really wanted to go see the movie, and I read The Light Between Oceans by M.L. Stedman. I loved this book. I really flew through it, honestly. The story is about a lighthouse keeper and his wife who live on an island that is really deserted. It's not deserted because there's nothing else there except their house and the lighthouse. And it's off the coast of Australia, Western Australia. And they live a pretty isolated life on this island. The boat that brings them supplies and whatnot only comes a few times a year. It's a beautiful love story between this husband and wife. However, one day a boat washes up. They see a boat in the distance that washes up to shore, and in the boat is a baby and a man who is dead. So this lighthouse keeper and his wife begin to raise this baby as their own. She has had a number of miscarriages, and as the story goes on, you really feel the ethical pull of whether or not they should report that this boat washed up to shore. The birth mom actually comes into the picture at some point, and the pull of whether they should decide to tell the truth or not. And no matter what you, as the reader, decide is right or wrong, what I loved about this book is that I really could understand their feelings. The writing was just beautiful, and I really felt the pull. The husband in particular really wants to do the right thing by his wife and by his own ethical, moral standards. And it's heart-wrenching. The story is so heart-wrenching. I loved it. And the movie I felt was just as beautiful. I honestly cried harder, I think, at this movie than I might have in any other movie. However, I really appreciated that the movie was a pretty good adaptation of the book. I felt that same tug, that same pull in really understanding the decisions that they made, and yet sometimes not always agreeing with the decisions that they made, but really emotionally connecting with the main character and his wife. I forget their names. Tom and Isabel. Tom and Isabel are the couple that live there. It's beautiful, and I really enjoyed it. So I gave it 5 stars. Even though I don't normally rate books, I did give this one 5 stars, and I will be keeping it, never unhauling it, because I'll probably read it again. I love a good cry now and then, and this one definitely gave me that. Another book that I read this month is the second in a series called the Amish Heirloom series, written by Amy Clipston. This is a Courtship Basket. I received this book from the publisher. I'm a part of the Fiction Guild for Zondervan, and I received this book in the mail for a review, and I enjoyed it. I really, as much as these books are not I want to say it's not very deep, but this one really did deal with some deep issues. It's about a man whose father is dying, and he resumes the responsibilities for his household, including his little brother, who really struggles in school. And his little brother begins going to this other schoolhouse where our main girl, Rachel Fisher, works, and she was jilted in love by her best friend, and the man she thought she was going to marry begins a relationship with her best friend, and she is devastated by that. And so it's about her learning to love again, learning to be on her own for a little bit. And it's very predictable. You know exactly what's going to happen, but it's a very sweet story. And that's something that I do love about Amish Christian fiction, is that it's just a sweet story, and it almost always ends up with a happy ending. Overall, there's always some sad moments along the way, or some tough moments along the way, but you know that everything's gonna kind of work out in the end. And so I do like that about these books. So it's not the best book that I've ever read, but I really did enjoy this novel this month. Then the book that I listened to on audio this month is number 4 of Harry Potter, The Goblet of Fire, and I think this is my favorite. That I remember, this is my favorite of the series, because I really love the Triwizard Tournament, which happens in this book. It does get a little angsty as Ron and Hermione and Harry are getting older. There's some arguments that happen between two different ones at 2 different times during this book, and so they don't speak to each other for a bit of time. But overall, I really do enjoy this story. I enjoy watching them grow up together. I love Fred and George, Ron's brothers. I am just having such a good time with this reread, and I'm listening to all of them on audiobook, and Jim Dale is the narrator, and he is absolutely fantastic. I have heard this month that he is also the narrator for The Night Circus on audiobook, which I'm currently reading, so I may have to find that audiobook after I'm done reading the book just to listen to him read it, because I feel like I want to find everything that he's read or narrated and listen to it, because he's really that good. So I really enjoyed listening to the 4th book in the Harry Potter series this month. Then I am adding to my TBR because I'm currently in the middle of 2 books. I know it's October now, but I did start both of these in September and just didn't have a chance to finish. So I'm moving on in my audiobooks to A Torch Against the Night by Sabata here. This is the sequel to An Ember in the Ashes, and I really am enjoying it. We do add a 3rd perspective in this book. You have Elias and Laia, and then a 3rd perspective is added in this one. In An Ember in the Ashes, it's just Elias and Laia, and this one we add a 3rd one, which I've said 3 times now. I like the narration. I am enjoying the story, and it not as much action-packed. I'm only on the 4th disc though so far, so I have quite a ways to go. But I am enjoying this one, and will definitely finish this in October, so consider it added to my TBR. And finally, I am about a 1/3 maybe of the way through Americana by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. And this is a little bit of a slower read for me. I am enjoying it much more now than I was at the very beginning. This is about a woman from Nigeria who had moved to America and is now considering moving back to Nigeria. And it's just her story. It kind of moves from present day back to when she was growing up in Nigeria, and the relationships that she had there and the relationships she has now. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. It is much more of a slower read for me. I'm not as captivated by the story, and it's not a can't put it down type of a book for me, but I am really enjoying it, learning about, I keep repeating myself today. I'm enjoying learning about another culture and people from that culture. So I will continue to read this. I'm not going to DNF it because I am enjoying it. It's just a little slower. So I will finish that this month as well. That is it for my wrap up in September. Kind of lame, thanks to America's Next Top Model, But I'm happy with it. I read some really great things this month, especially The Light Between Oceans and Harry Potter. I'm looking forward to the things I am going to be reading in October. If you haven't checked out my TBR video, go ahead and do that. I will link it down below. Let me know if you've read any of these books as well. I would love to chat with you about them down in the comments. What did you think about The Light Between Oceans if you've read it, or Americana? I know that many people have read Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, and this one is a YA, Torch Against the Night. So without putting any spoilers out there for those who haven't read it, I would love to hear what you think about it, or if you're planning on reading it anytime soon. Give me a like and a thumbs up if you haven't already. Subscribe away to my channel, and I will be talking to you soon. Bye!